You are Locked On Red Sox Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Boston, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Did the Red Sox make JP Sears? Yeah, we'll get the name right. Did the Sox make JP Sears look like Tom Glavine, Randy Johnson, or Bruce Hurst on Wednesday night at Fenway? Felt like it. Sears got the win. A's never trailed, evened up the series at a game apiece with one to go on Thursday. We do welcome you into our latest edition of the Locked On Red Sox Postcast. I'm Steve Lennox, longtime play-by-play announcer, show host who has called games from Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan, Dodger Stadium, Target Field, Minute Maid Park, Kauffman Stadium, Jacobs Field, Globe Life in Arlington, LaLasha Park in Lowell, Mass, and Granger Stadium in Kinston, North Carolina. We are providing reaction to every Red Sox game on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, as well as a Locked On Red Sox podcast feed, which is free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Gabby Hurlbert does produce in-depth Red Sox content Monday through Friday. Gabby and her baseball chat with Sox pitching coach Andrew Bally, that is going to be dropped on Friday. Looking forward to that one right here on our Locked On Red Sox podcast and also the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel as well. Not only are we providing you with reaction to the Sox loss tonight at home against the Oakland A's, we'd like you to join in on the conversation as well. Click on the comment button on the YouTube channel, introduce yourself, say hello, share your thoughts on the Sox. Nick Pivetta, outstanding last time. Not so much in taking his first ever loss against the Oakland A's. Had been perfect entering the start on Wednesday. The upcoming trade deadline, we're talking about it almost every day now, and the theme seems to be the same, day in, day out. Are you prepared to see a top 5 or top 10 prospect go the other way in order for Craig Breslow to upgrade this year's club? If you want to get something back for this year, you're going to have to give something up, and you might have to pay dearly. On this episode, we're also going to touch on the Sox having their opportunities Wednesday night, but not taking advantage of them. Nick Pivetta had one bad inning, ended up giving up 4 runs in his outing. A's had plenty of 2-out magic. They had plenty of answers as well for the Sox. Our latest episode of the Locked On Red Sox Postcast is brought to you by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/Locked On MLB. Use the code all lowercase Locked On MLB for a first deposit match up to $100. So Pivetta and Sears, the pitching matchup Wednesday night. Sox looking to take the first 2 after winning and scoring 12 runs in the opener on Tuesday night. 8 runs, 6 runs of the 8 runs, I should say. 6 were with 2 outs, and the A's kind of rebounded and responded to that in kind on Wednesday night, able to even up the series. Nick Pivetta, 2 scoreless innings to start. Gave up a single in the second, nothing else. Top of the third, A's on the board first. A bases-loaded walk. You hate to see him. Shane Langoliers walked with the bases loaded, 1-0 Oakland. A's not done. Lawrence Butler, happy birthday, Lawrence. Celebrated his 24th birthday on Wednesday at Fenway Park. Went the other way with hard contact. Made it 3-0 with a 2-run double to left field. Pivetta did get the final out in that third. 8 batters, though, coming to the plate. All 3 runs, again, coming with 2 outs. And the A's also with 3 stolen bases against Pivetta in the first 3 innings as well. Now, Pivetta did rebound nicely. In fact, he struck out the side in the 4th, struck out the side in the 5th inning, struck out the first batter in the 6th inning, had 8 straight strikeouts. Second time this season he's done that. 9 straight outs recorded by Pivetta via the strikeout. Brian Bayo last night. Not in succession, but 10 strikeouts of 10 outs recorded by Bayo. 10 in a row via the strikeout. He ended up with a career-high 11 strikeouts. But Pivetta, again, just not enough. 7th inning, Pivetta back out there on the mound. After that rough 3rd inning, he was able to go innings 4, 5, and 6. Got into the 7th, was chased from the game in the 7th inning. J.J. Bleday struggling at the plate over the last handful of weeks. Bleday touching up Pivetta, 2-out double to center field. That scored the A's 4th run of the night. All 4 runs against Pivetta with 2 outs in an inning. So Red Sox fall in this one by a score of 5-2. Failed to get to 11 games over 500 for the first time this season. Red Sox, again, opportunities. Left the bases loaded in the home first inning. And in that first inning, Sears threw 31 total pitches. 31 total pitches. And he went 5 2/3. He should have been out of there. Picks up the win, his 6th on the year. Struck out 8. But JP Sears should have been out of the game. 31 pitches in the first inning, and then he settled in nicely. Tip of the cap to him, but the Red Sox just didn't really muster a whole heck of a lot. Now, opportunities, yes. 5th inning, Sears at one point retiring 11 in a row. Left the bases loaded again in the first inning. Jamie Westbrook in the 5th reached on an error by the third baseman Harris. Cedar Rafael a double off the green monster. Westbrook trying to score all the way from first base was thrown out at the plate. Good relay throw. They got him at the plate by about 20 feet. Wasn't even close. And would you know it? First Nesson reference of the night. Dave O'Brien, Kevin Youkilis in the booth. And third base coach Kyle Hudson. Kyle Hudson, member of the 2008 Aberdeen Ironbirds, drafted out of Illinois. Third base coach for the Red Sox, present day. He was mic'd up on Nesson Wednesday night. Now, he wasn't waving him, but I think he was close enough to the third base bag where he was giving the verbal, saying, go, go, go. Maybe that'll be in conversation post-game with the Red Sox in the clubhouse. Not sure. But that it could have been second and third, one out. Instead, 2 down and a runner at second in that 5th inning. Rob Refsnyder finally got the Red Sox on the board in the 6th inning. Refsnyder, a solo home run. That made it a 3-1 ball game. And what you liked about the A's on this particular night and didn't really like it so much with the Red Sox is the fact that Refsnyder hits a home run in the 6th inning, makes it a 3-1 ball game. And then Blade comes right back against Pivetta in the top of the 7th inning with the double. And that made it a 4-1 ball game at that point in time. Tyler O'Neill, another opportunity. Sox left the bases loaded in the 1st inning, bases loaded in the 7th. And I'm going to touch on this probably right now and in the next segment as well, because it's got to be part of the scouting report for Tyler O'Neill, who, by the way, hasn't homered in a while. We'll touch on that in segment number 2 coming up. But O'Neill's at the plate, 2 outs, bases full. There's a conference on the mound, and I'm thinking to myself, he's gonna swing first pitch, because he's done that on several occasions in recent weeks where there's been a conference on the mound or something happened. He's up there first pitch swinging. Now, if he rung a double off the green monster and plated 2 or 3 runs, okay. A little dribbler to third. He beat it out, hustled down the line, run scores from third base, infield single for O'Neill, picks up an RBI. It's a 2-run ball game. Bases still loaded, still 2 down. Now you've got Rafael Devers at the plate. Devers, 14 RBIs in his previous, or 20 RBIs, pardon me, in his previous 14 games. Fielder's choice ground out, inning over. And that was it. Red Sox ended up leaving 9 runners on base. They struck out 12 times and just 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. That was their last opportunity. So they got that 1 run in the 7th inning. A's answered right back, made it 5-2 in the top of the 8th inning against Josh Winkowski. Sox went 1-2-3 in the 8th inning. Sox went down, did not score. Duran had a 2-out base hit against Mason Miller in the 9th inning. Duran, bright spot, 3 base hits. Cedar Rafael in the number 9 spot in the lineup, a couple of base hits and a run scored. But the A's even up the series. And I told you Saturday, Sunday of the Yankees series, don't sleep on Oakland, because the A's are right where they are. This was a 500 ball club through their first 34 games. Then things went south quick. They're now 35-59 this season, and they've gone south and they've continued to go south, but they're just a pain in the neck. And it's a team that really, I'm glad after Thursday, the Red Sox aren't going to face in the second half of the season. So the Red Sox fall 5-2, series even 1-1, rubber game of the 3-game set coming up on Thursday with Tanner Houck on the mound. We'll have more on Tanner Houck coming up in just a bit. So with the loss, the Red Sox, again, failed to get to 11 games over 500 for the first time this season. They don't clinch the series by winning the first 2. First loss of the season to Oakland, now 6-2 in July. And, you talk about what the Red Sox need, starting pitching, because I think the bullpen, once, I don't know that you're relying heavily on Liam Hendricks, but, he's going to come back. And if he can go the 8th inning, 9th inning with Kenley Jansen, that solidifies things. It might take him a little while to go, but I don't think you have to handle him with kid gloves, but he's not a starting pitcher. He's a 1-inning guy. You got the lead going to the 8th inning. He's on the mound. Then you go Kenley. That's going to be a nice 1-2 punch for the Red Sox. So, And I've touched on it. I don't think they need bullpen help. I think they need a starting pitcher. I want to say 2 starting pitchers. Let's not get too crazy on that one. I think if they add a starting pitcher, I'd be happy. But I think also there's a need for another right-handed bat as well. Just 26 games against lefty starters this year, including the one against JP Sears on Wednesday night, but just 12-14 in those 26 games. So a right-handed bat on the wish list, a starting pitcher or multiple starting pitchers on the wish list for the Red Sox before the deadline. Keep talking about it. The theme is the same, and we'll touch on that coming up in our next segment as well. Tyler O'Neill's not going to participate in the home run derby. He's not. Red Sox did not come up clutch. Tyler O'Neill, it's been a while since he's gone yard. And in the first inning, I thought it, with O'Neill at the plate. In that 7th inning with the bases full, I thought, okay, it's going to happen for the first time this year. Then picks up an RBI with a groundout. I'm like, okay. Or I'm sorry, RBI with the infield single. And then it's Devers. I'm like, okay, it wasn't Tyler O'Neill. It'll be Rafael Devers. This is going to happen. But it didn't happen. 0. I know we do numbers of the night in our third segment, but 0. Red Sox do not have a grand slam so far this season. We're going to talk about O'Neill and his numbers of late, plus Cedar Rafaela as well, and some minor league notes when we continue. Yes, I'm fully aware when I say we continue, we're back pretty quickly. Yes, I know that. That's my radio days. Anyway, Locked On Red Sox postcast, part of Locked On Sports Boston, your team every day. And our latest Locked On Red Sox postcast brought to you by Booking.com. Yeah. With summer travel heating up, especially travel for baseball games, time to explore those U.S. cities you've always secretly wanted to learn more about. Yes, we're talking about your rival cities with hotels, bed and breakfasts, vacation rentals, resorts, and so much more on Booking.com. You might just find your perfect stay, even in your baseball rival city. A New York fan heading to Boston to catch a game at Fenway, Yankees fan, Red Sox, or a Mets fan on Boston's turf. They want their team to win. They're also excited to have a lobster roll. They're excited to fall in love with their waterfront hotel. From hotels that look over stadiums to family-friendly resorts, Booking.com has so many choices across the U.S. for your summer travel this MLB season. The right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rivals. Book today on Booking.com site, on the website, or on the Booking.com app. Locked On Red Sox postcast also brought to you by Game Time. Game Time, an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. Game Time app features last-minute tickets, flash deals, and zone deals. Easy to find and buy MLB tickets and for every kind of event in your area. Views from all seats in the venue, lowest price guarantee, even cancellation protection, job loss protection, and more. What are flash deals? Flash deals allow you to save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or the event that you're looking for tickets on. Game Time app features a lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% on the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off on your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, a lot of looking around there on there. Sox fall tonight, Wednesday night to the Oakland A's at Fenway, 5-2 the final. Just 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Couple of opportunities with the bases loaded. First inning, 7th inning, and did not do anything. Red Sox go down 1-2-3 in the 8th, 1-2-3 in the 9th. Or I'm sorry, they did get a hit by Duran in that 9th inning. So just 1 hit over the final 2 innings as well. So no home run derby for Tyler O'Neill. learned that Teoscar Hernandez of the Dodgers was the 8th big leaguer added to that home run derby field next Monday night in Arlington, Texas. Tyler O'Neill had expressed interest in participating, does not get the invite. So Tyler O'Neill, Wednesday night, 1 for 3, infield RBI single in the 7th inning, walked once, struck out once. O'Neill has now gone 9 straight games without a home run. Last 15 games, just 1 home run and 5 runs batted in. Need more production. Captain Obvious note of the night. Need more production, more consistent production from Tyler O'Neill in the middle of that lineup. Remember, he's moved around. I mentioned it last week during the Miami Marlins series. Alex Cora has the ability to put a lot of different hitters based on the pitcher in that number 2 spot in the lineup. O'Neill has hit second, he's hit third, he's hit fourth, he's hit in the number 5 spot in the lineup. But just 1 home run now, 5 runs batted in over his last 15 games, 9 straight games without a home run. And during that Miami series, he was going home run for home run with Rafael Devers. They were tied, and O'Neill actually led on a couple of occasions. O'Neill would take the lead, Devers would tie him up, and then O'Neill, I think, went in front. They did that on a couple of occasions. But Tyler O'Neill got to have more production. Again, wish list, starting pitching before the trade deadline, and another right-handed bat. It looks like at some point Tristan Casas returns, left-handed bat in the lineup. It'll extend that lineup as well. Casas coming back, and maybe after he really gets into a flow, might take a little time to get going. But you might see O'Neill more down in that 6-7 spot in the lineup as well. Red Sox notes for the media. Noticed on Wednesday, they had some notes and awards from the month of June for their minor league players. Christian Campbell named hitter of the month for the second consecutive month. Campbell, during the month of June, 420 average. It's pretty good. OPS of over 1.182, 11 extra base hits, 21 runs scored, 15 RBIs, all in 22 games for Double-A Portland. And again, Christian Campbell named hitter of the month in the Red Sox minor league system for a second straight month. Some other June awards as well. Jedrickson Paez, High A Greenville, was the player of the month for Greenville for the month of June. And Redis Senna is how I've heard it pronounced, starting pitcher of the month at High A Greenville as well. So the Sox, again, losing. And I mentioned the batter of the month for the entire minor league system at Double-A Portland right now, Christian Campbell. You're going to hear his name. You're going to hear his name plenty in the coming weeks. Because, again, the way you look at this trade deadline, and I think the narrative, getting into this for just a moment before we hit our final break and get into numbers of the night and tell you about Tanner Houck getting the start in Game 3 of the series on Thursday night. You know, the narrative has been, are they in this lane or are they in this lane? Are they going to be buy or sell? How about you ask the question, have you fielded phone calls from other organizations, Craig Breslow? Now, I'm sure those questions are asked, but let's change the narrative. Hey, are you actively talking to teams? Are teams pursuing you? They're not going to give you who they're talking about, but you're going to hear rumors about the minor leaguers that other big league clubs are going to ask for. They're going to ask for the moon right off the bat. Then they're going to have to come back to earth. But if you're talking a legit number 2, number 3 starting pitcher, I don't know that there's an ace anymore because everyone goes 5 or 6 innings. So it's not like you're trading. I'll come up with some names in the coming weeks, but you're not trading for a legit ace. Every starting pitcher that's available has warts in some way or another. You know, it might be an ace. Is that an ace is a guy who's going to go give you 7 strong on most nights. Every time he takes the ball every 5th or 6th day. That's an ace. Tanner Houck was pitching like an ace. Not so much of late, but we'll see if he can rebound on Thursday in that role. But even for a number 3 starter, because of supply and demand, it's simple. Supply and demand, we know what that is. The supply is low. The demand is going to be high. There are plenty of times they're going to be out there in the market. Phone calls have to be going on right now. Let's not kid ourselves. We're July 10th. Just have a couple of more weeks. Going to be talking about it through the weekend. Going to be talking about it next week after during the All-Star break, and then certainly after the All-Star break, as there's almost, just a handful of days remaining. Less than 2 weeks once they get started after the All-Star break. I don't like calling it the second half of the season. It's the second half of the season. We've passed the midpoint of the season. but the second half comes after the All-Star break. We've said that for years. That narrative probably doesn't change. But Craig Breslow, hey, our team's calling you right now. Our team's calling you more than you're calling them. How much information have you gathered over the last couple of weeks in terms of having conversations with other organizations? Not are you a buyer or are you a seller? Change that narrative. Because the phone calls have to be going on at this point. And if you're taking phone calls, depending on who's calling you, that might actually change your thinking as well. Numbers of the night, next. Latest Locked On Red Sox postcast brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, just you against the numbers. All you have to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community today. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. If you're looking for promotions, Prize Picks has got you covered every week, from lowering select players' stat projections on Tuesdays to help your lineup hit or getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Fridays. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It is that easy with Prize Picks. All right, we do have a couple numbers of the night. Cedar Rafael, couple of base hits, 10 hits. Now, where he's hit safely in 7 of his last 8 games over that 8-game stretch, 10 base hits, double, couple of triples, 3 home runs, 10 runs batted in. Rafael is number 2 on this team in RBIs. I don't know if you move him from that bottom spot in the lineup. I don't think you do, because you get that 9-1-2, Cedar Rafael, Jarren Duran, David Hamilton in the number 2 spots more often than not. Nick Pivetta, how about the number 1? Or first. First loss for Nick Pivetta in his career against the Oakland A's had been 6-0 with a 0.71 ERA in 6 games, 4 starts prior to Wednesday night. Pivetta chased from the game in the 7th inning, allowing 4 earned runs total. And with that, also all 4 runs with 2 outs in an inning. So the Sox now do go for the series win with the finale. 4 games left now before the All-Star break. You do not in any way, shape, or form want to hit Sunday night, hit the All-Star break, having finished up with 6 in a row at home, dropping 2 of 3 against the Oakland A's, and then, winning 2 of 3 from the Kansas City Royals. You want a 4-2 homestand. You want to go 2-1 against the A's with a victory on Thursday. You want to go 2-1 over the weekend against the Royals. Again, you can't sweep a series unless you win the first game. You can't sweep a series this weekend against the Royals until you win the first 2 games of that series. So realistically, you go in thinking, hey, let's take 2 out of 3. Right now, that's in play. But if you drop 2 of 3 to Oakland with Tanner Houck on the mound on Thursday, that is going to take away a lot of the positive vibes, not only from the last week, from the last couple of weeks. You had your first opportunity to go 11 games over 500 on Wednesday night. Did not happen. And as we're closing here, we'll get into Houck and Medina, the pitching matchup, 2 right-handers, in just a moment. But just watching the 2 games of this series against the A's after you went 5-1 on a homestand, Alex Cora has said it. We've got to get this place back to being our home field. And Boston is a city, a lot of transients now, a lot of people coming in for work. Last time I was at Fenway, I sat with a whole bunch of guys that were in town for the week. They were at their second game. They knew players, they knew stats, they knew some different things, but they didn't have a rooting interest in either team. It's a lot of Fenway. It's been the last couple of years. But last night, bases loaded first inning. Jarren Duran came to the plate Tuesday night for his first at-bat, just named to the All-Star team on Sunday. An ovation, yes. A noticeable ovation. I didn't think so. Not necessarily. And it's been that way. It's a lot going on in the ballpark. And in a way, I've said it. And it's not only Fenway. You want fans at concessions. You want fans all over taking in the entire experience. The baseball game up on the soapbox right now, the baseball game still has to be priority number one. I don't care if it's Tuesday in July against Oakland or Wednesday in July against Oakland. Game on the field, priority number one, 30,000 plus, at least for most of the people. Take turns. Take turns heading out. Tanner Houck. We know what Tanner has been through the last couple of outings. All-star for the first time. Last time out on Friday at Yankee Stadium. Did not make it out of the fourth inning. Gave up 3 runs. Just 1 earned. Walked 4. Struck out 1. Threw a lot of pitches. Was in a groove, I think you could say, early on. The rain delay hurt him. And again, didn't make it out of the fourth inning. Start before that, at home against the Padres. That was an ugly one. Houck took the loss. Last time out against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium on Friday, they came from behind in dramatic fashion to win it in 10 innings. But last start at home against the Padres, 11-1 the final. Houck gave up 8 runs, 7 earned on 9 hits over 4 1/3 innings and gave up 3 home runs in that outing. So last 2 starts, 4 1/3, 3 1/3, and an ace. We were talking about Tanner Houck being an ace. He's an all-star. Got to get back to being that ace. 6, 7 innings every time out. 7 innings. Houck went 6 innings in his first start of the season at Oakland. That was back on April 1, April Fool's Day. Tossed 6 innings of 3-hit shutout baseball. Walked no one, struck out 10. Let's see that from Tanner Houck going into his final start before the All-Star break. Lined up, mentioned it Tuesday night. Opportunity to start the All-Star game as well because he lines up perfectly. That would be his next day to start for the Red Sox that next Tuesday. All-Star game, the 94th edition, I believe, of the All-Star game in Arlington, Texas. Sox take one on the chin, 5-2. A's for their 5 runs, scoring with 2 outs in an inning. Nick Pivetta hit the loss, his first career loss against Oakland, against 6 victories. Our Locked On Red Sox postcast follows each and every Red Sox game all season long. We do thank you for making Locked On Red Sox your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, also on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel as well, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. A's Red Sox wrap up their series Thursday night at Fenway Park. Tanner Houck gets the start against Luis Medina, right-hander who is 2-3 on the season with a 4.37 earned run average. A reminder, we will go live within minutes of the last out of Thursday's finale against the A's with our latest edition of the Locked On Red Sox postcast. Locked On Sports Boston is the #1 place to hang out immediately after every game. Locked On Sports, your team, your teams every day.